Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. My name is Anish Salat and I am working as Assistant Professor in University Institute of Hotel and Tourism Management, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Today we are going to learn the module Contemporary Cultural Events, Art Galleries, Theatres and Modern Architecture from the paper Special Interest Tourism. After completing this module, you will be able to understand the concept of cultural events, various types of cultural events, know the concept of contemporary cultural events, art galleries, theatres and modern architecture, and you will be able to understand the role of cultural events in the growth of tourism. Let us begin. Understanding the human advancement of a country gathering or individuals' expressions of the human experience, sentiments, traditions, exercises and conviction and social exercises lies at the heart of social occasion. By going to social occasions, individuals can encounter first-hand with the different offerings of culture and makers' expressions found in a group. Instructions can't occur exactly at school. It must go on the far side of the dividers of the classroom. Watching a play acted live is preferably an alternate ordeal than pursuing a play from a book. Through participation at occasions, students increment their noticeable skyline and increase specific discriminants into their own groups, and additionally a more extensive overall perspective of our reality's diverse societies. A social occasion must be a live occasion and one that is of cutting-edge decision. Social occasions include a live execution of music, move, play or verse recitation, a visit to a craftsmanship display or art gallery, speeches identified with the sociology, visiting recent architecture, observation of plays in theatres. Now let us understand the concept of culture events. Cultural events can be categorized in numerous different ways in the expressions of social scientists B. Taylor. It is that intricate whole which considers information, conviction, creation, morals, law, custom and whatever other limits and propensities gained by man as a unit of social gathering. Alternatively, in a present-day diverse, culture is described as a social situation that anxieties the examples, talks and physical expression which after some time express the coherence and discontinuities of social significance of an existence held in like manner. The subcategories of cultural events are: first, expressions grant related functions, cartooning related occasions, arts related rivalries, arts related conferences, art related exhibitions, celebrations identified with art, literature related events, music related events, art performances, touring theatres and so forth. Cannabis events like Cannabis Award, cannabis occasions in the United States. Comics event like comics awards, comics conventions. Cultural meetings like celebrations by culture, arts, celebrations, festivals of multiculturalism, folk festivals, food and drink celebrations, religious celebrations. Next would be doors open days like entryways open days, Brisbane open house, doors open Canada, doors open Newfoundland and Labrador, doors open Ottawa, doors open Saskatoon, doors open Toronto, European Heritage Days, Heritage Open Days, Manchester Curious, Open House Chicago, Open House London, Open House Melbourne, Open House Tel Aviv and Open House New York. Exhibitions like displays by nation, air shows, animal shows, art presentations, boat appears, exhibition originators, fairs, horticultural exhibitions, model railroad shows and presentations, national displays, science exhibitions, trade fairs, traveling displays and world fairs. Fashion events like form occasions in different nations, festivals by culture like Basque Festival, Breton Festival, Buddhist festivals, Cornish celebrations and Celtic celebrations. Festivals of Indian culture, folk celebrations, French celebrations, Goth celebrations and so forth. Food and drink related occasions like sustenance and drink festivals, wine related events and so forth. Museum events like historical center awards, arts events, etc. The next topic that we will study is contemporary cultural events, art galleries, theatres and modern architecture. Firstly, we will talk about meaning, definitions and types of art galleries. A workmanship exhibition is an engineer or space for the introduction of craftsmanship. Regularly visual workmanship, historical centers might be open for individual. However, what acknowledged a gallery is the ownership of a gathering. Artistic creations are the most by the large noticeable workmanship things. Regardless of models, embellished expressions, furniture, fiber clothing, drawings, pastels and watercolors. Photo montage, printed material, craftsman, books, photos and establishment craftsmanship are likewise typically appeared, albeit typically worried with giving a place to display work of visual craftsmanship. Workmanship exhibitions are at times used to host some masterful exercises similar to execution, melodic execution or verse translation. The word is utilized for both open exhibitions which are unbeneficial or freely possessed galleries that show favored accumulations of workmanship. Then again, private exhibition alludes to the business endeavor for the offer of art. Nevertheless, both sort of display may have voyaging introduction or restricted introduction alongside workmanship leased from some place. In wide terms, in North American utilization, the word exhibition alone for the most part imply a private display, while an open exhibition is all the more presumably to be indicated as craftsmanship historical center. In British and Commonwealth use, the word display alone infers an open exhibition, while a private or business display will be recognized utilizing those terms. And the word gallery alone is for the most part comprehended to allude to establishments holding accumulations of noteworthy archaeological or logical antiquities instead of artistic work. Galleries in museums. The rooms in historical centers where workmanship is exhibited for people in general or for the most part said to as displays too, with a room devoted to age-old Egyptian craftsmanship frequently being known as Egyptian gallery or instance. Contemporary gallery. The term present day workmanship exhibition alludes for the most part to an exclusive for advantage business display. These exhibitions are frequently discovered bunched together in substantial urban focuses. Littler urban communities are by and large home to no less than one display. However, they may likewise be found in city or towns and far off zones where specialities collect. Example, the Taos workmanship province and St. Ives, Cornwall present day craftsmanship exhibitions are by and large open to the regular, open without charge. Still, some are semi-private. They more often than not profit by talking and offer of craftsmanship deals from 25% to half is run of the mill. There are likewise numerous non-benefit or aggregate exhibitions. Couple of exhibitions in urban communities like Tokyo charge the craftsmanship a level rate every day. However, this is viewed as unpleasant in worldwide craftsmanship markets. Displays frequently hang solo shows. Custodians regularly makes a mass demonstrations that say something in regards to specific subject, drift in workmanship or gathering of identified with craftsmen. Exhibitions some of the time select to symbolize craftsmen, especially giving them the minute to demonstrate over and over. A gallery's definition can likewise incorporate the craftsman agreeable or craftsman run space, which general work as a space with a more law-based mission and determination handle. Such displays regularly have a top managerial staff and volunteer or paid care staff that selects the minister shows by council or some sort of comparative procedure to choose workmanship that normally needs business classes. Now let us see what are vanity galleries. A vanity display is a workmanship exhibition that charges expenses from specialists so as to demonstrate their work, much like a vanity press accomplishes for creators. The shows are not effectively curated and will much of the time or for the most part incorporate whatever number specialists as would be prudent. Most craftsmanship experts can remember them on the craftsman resume. Next, in brief, let us discuss about university, museum and galleries. College workmanship, historical centers and displays build up accumulation of craftsmanship that are developed, claimed and secured by a wide range of schools, society, universities and colleges. This occasion get by in both the West and East, making it a worldwide practice. Despite the fact that comprehensively dismissed, there are more than 700 college craftsmanship historical centers in America alone. This number, similarity to different sorts of workmanship galleries construct college craftsmanship, historical centers might be the greatest classification of craftsmanship exhibition halls in the nation. Despite the fact that the first of these accumulations can be engraved back to learning accumulations created in workmanship institutes in Western Europe, they are today best continuous identified with a housed in focuses of more propelled instruction of numerous kinds. Let us go back in time and understand the history. Firstly, I am going to speak about private collections. All over history, huge and exorbitant gems have been found in most part and dispatched by religious organizations and rulers and been in exhibit in sanctuaries, houses of worship and castles. In spite of the fact that these accumulations of craftsmanship were private, they were generally made open for review for an offer of people in general. In traditional circumstances, religious foundations begin to work as an early type of workmanship displays. Affluent Roman gatherers of engraved pearls and other esteemed protests as a rule exhibited their accumulations to sanctuaries. It is uncertain how simple it is practically speaking for people in general to see these things. In Europe, from the late medieval period onwards, ranges in imperial royal resistance, chateaux and vast nations places of social first class were regularly made in part available to segments of people in general, where craftsmanship accumulations could be seen. At the place of versalities, passageways was shut to individuals wearing the best possible dress. The appropriate addition could be enlisted from shops outside. The treasuries of basilicas and huge holy places or parts of them were generally set out for open illustrate. Huge numbers of substantial English country houses could be visited in the fair for a tip to servant, amid the long stretches when the family were not in living arrangements. Unique readiness were made to concede the general population to look abundant imperial or private accumulation set in displays as with the greater part of artistic creations of the Orleans collection, which were obliged in a wing of the Palaces Royal in Paris and could be gone by for best of the 18th century. In Italy, the craftsmanship tourism of the Grand Tour turned into noteworthy industry from the 18th century, and towns made endeavor to make their key works accessible. The Capitoline Museum started in 1471 with a gift of traditional figure to the city of Rome by the papacy, while the Vatican museums, whose accumulations are as yet claimed by the Pope, follow their establishment to 1506. A progression of historical centers on different subjects were opened over ensuing hundreds of years, and a hefty portion of the structures of the Vatican were worked as exhibitions. An early imperial treasury open to people in general was Grants Guable of the Kingdom of Saxony in the 1720s. Now, we shall discuss about the public galleries. In the second 50% of 18th century, numerous private accumulations of workmanship were nationalized and open to people in general. In 1753, the British Museum was built up and the old Royal Library accumulation of original copies and work of art was given to it for open survey. In 1777, a recommendation to the British government was advanced by MP John Wilkes to purchase the workmanship accumulation of the then late Sir Robert Walpole, who had assembled one of the enormous accumulations in Europe and housed it in an especially developed wing of British Museum for open survey. After much open deliberations, the thought was in the end surrendered because of the immense cost. And after 20 years, the accumulation was purchased by Tsarina Catherine and Great of Russia and housed in the State Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg. The Bavarian regal accumulation, now in Alte Pinakothek, Munich, was open to people in general in 1779 and the Medici gathering in Florence around 1789. The opening of the museum edulovers amid the French Revolution in 1793 as an open gallery for a significant part of the prior French imperial accumulation, vital a major stage in the headway of Groupway to deal with craftsmanship by exchanging the proprietorship to the Republican state. Yet, it was an expansion of patterns prior very much settled. The building now possessed by the Prado in Madrid was worked before the French Revolution for people in general show of parts of imperial craftsmanship accumulations, and comparative regal exhibitions were open to the general population in Vienna, Munich and different capitals. In Great Britain, be that as it may, the relating royal collection stayed in the private hands of the ruler, and the principal reason built up national craftsmanship displays were Dulwich Picture Gallery, established in 1814, and the National Gallery, opened to people in general 10 years after the fact in 1824. Visual art not shown in the gallery chips away at paper, for example drawings, pastels, watercolors, prints and photos are regularly not for all time shown for preservation reasons. Or maybe open way to deal with these items is upheld by a dependable print. Examine room arranged inside exhibition halls. Wall paintings for the most part stay where they have been painted, albeit many have been taken out of displays. Different types of 20th century craftsmanship, for example, arrived workmanship and execution workmanship, additionally for the most part exist separated from an exhibition. Photographic records of these sorts of workmanship are frequently appeared in displays. Be that as it may, most exhibition hall and vast workmanships exhibition possesses a greater number of works than they have space to. The rest are held available for later accumulations on or off site. Next, we shall discuss about architecture. The architectural form of craftsmanship exhibition was settled by Sir John Soane with his plan for the Dulwich Picture Gallery in 1870. This settled the exhibition as a progression of connected rooms with to a great extent unbroken divider spaces for hanging pictures and back-handed lighting from bay windows or rooftops. Early modern architecture from 1850 to 1900, press building which prospered primarily in England, France and the United States, lives the transitional stage amongst traditional and late engineering. Press outline structures were raised basically amid the time of iron and steam, as Really popular prior this engineering included iron outline workmanship structures, iron and glass structures, and iron extensions. For instance, wile press helps in fabulous design were once in a wile brickwork, with the end goal that the structures kept up a customary appearance. They were left uncovered in structures where quality was viewed as irrelevant. Example, plants and processing plants, or where structures were superfluous. Likewise, regularly needed customary ornamentation at the end of the day because the absence of enthusiasm for quality. As the 19th century drew on, a few planners started to grasp these properties. Plain mechanical materials and absence of ornamentation as tastefully attractive. Modern architecture is mainly divided into two categories. Early modern architecture, the period for which was from 1850 to 1900, and late modern architecture, the period for which is 1900 to 1960. At the end, I would like to summarize the entire chapter by saying that cultural events, an event including expressions and occasions particular to a specific culture, particularly one celebrating and advancing that culture in a more extensive open setting. The subcategories of cultural events, arts events, can be divided as cannabis events, comic events, cultural gatherings, doors open days, exhibitions, fashion occasions, festivals by culture, food and drink related occasions, museum events. Next, a workmanship display is a building or a space for the show of craftsmanship, typically visual workmanship. Exhibition halls can be open or private. However, what recognizes a gallery is responsibility for accumulation. Sketches are the most normally shown craftsmanship objects, be that as it may, figure, beautiful expressions, furniture, textiles, outfits, drawings, pastels, watercolors, collections, prints, specialists, books, photos, and establishment workmanship are additionally routinely appeared, albeit basically worried with giving a space to show work of visual workmanship. Craftsmanship exhibitions are now and again used to have other creative exercises, for example, execution expressions, music, shows, or verse readings. Theatres is a synergistic type of compelling artwork that utilizations live entertainers, ordinarily on-screen characters or performing artists, to show the experience of a genuine or envisioned occasion before a live group of onlookers in a particular place. The entertainers may impart this experience to the crowd through mixes of signal, discourse, melody, music, and move components of craftsmanship. For example, painted view and stagecraft. For example, lighting are utilized to upgrade the physicality, nearness, and quickness of the experience. The particular place of the execution is likewise named by theatre as gotten from the ancient Greek. The characterizing highlight of present-day engineering is the cutting-edge tasteful, which might be compressed as plain geometric structures. Today, we are so usual to the present-day tasteful that it can be hard to envision the contention encompassing its advancement. In any case, however, the tasteful started to rise in the late 19th century. Just in the mid-20th did it develop and accomplish standard acknowledgements. And at the last, cultural occasions are exercises that have a place with the gathering of made attractions, which each goal that arranges the effective advancement of tourism ought to have. The fundamental part of the cultural occasion is to advance tourism through the independent energy of fascination of the occasion itself and to supplement the vocational supply of a specific goal. Thank you.